Hi friends, it's Mrs. Nye with Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds. Today is our last lesson already. So for today's lesson, we're going to talk all about celebrating all of the things that we have done this year together. We will do some reviewing, go over how we can take what we have learned and put into practice with being healthy role models, and we'll also have a short fun quiz. Let's get started with a review of what we have done. So for lesson 1, Lesson 1 was all about hand washing. Let's see what you remember. Which side of your hands should you wash? Should you only wash one side? No, we want to make sure that we're getting both sides of our hands. How long should you scrub your hands for? Oh, I bet you remember this one. You should scrub your hands for 20 seconds. Is hand sanitizer good to use? What do you think? So, when soap and water isn't available, hand sanitizer is good to use. Make sure you rub your hands together until they are dry. Next, let's talk about lesson 2. Do you remember what we talked about in lesson 2? Yep, lesson 2 was all about the My Plate. Let's find out how much you remember. How many food groups are on the My Plate? There are 5 food groups on our My Plate. Can you name all 5 of those food groups? Let's see. So our first food group that we can start with is fruits. Then we have vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. What color are each of the food groups? This one might be a little bit trickier. So let's start with fruit. Fruit is red. Then we have vegetables, that's the green group. We have grains, which is orange. Protein, which is purple. And dairy, which is blue. Can you name a food from each of the food groups? There are lots and lots of answers that we could have, so I'll just give you some examples. So for fruit, I'd say an apple. For a vegetable, I'd say corn. For grain, I'd say bread. For protein, I'd say chicken. And for dairy, I'd pick milk. But again, there are lots of different correct answers to that one. All right, on to lesson 3. School lunches are what we talked about in lesson 3. Does a school lunch require a milk? Yes, it does, but that milk has to be either low-fat or fat-free. Do you remember how many fruits and vegetables a lunch needs? So, you can have 1 fruit and 1 vegetable, or 2 fruits, or 2 vegetables. How many grains does a lunch need? Do you remember? A lunch needs 1 grain. How about protein? Protein is also 1. Now we'll move on to lesson 4. Lesson 4 was about smart snacking. What is an anytime snack? An anytime snack is a snack that we can eat anytime throughout the day because it's good for us. What is a sometimes snack? Well, a sometimes snack is a snack that doesn't come from our 5 food groups on our My Plate, and we should only eat them once in a while because they're not as nutritious as anytime snacks. Remember, a snack should aim to have less than 4 grams of fat, less than 150 milligrams of sodium, less than 3 grams of sugar, and more than 20% of your daily value of calcium. Let's check on the last lesson we did, which was lesson 5. The last lesson we talked about the parts of the plant. Let's see what you remember. How many parts of the plant are there? Do you remember? There are 6 parts of the plant. Can you name the parts of the plant? Well, let's start at the bottom. So we have root, stem, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. Next, we are going to talk about being a healthy role model. practice what we have learned. We are going to go through 8 scenarios. These are going to be situations that you might come across. I would like you to find a healthy solution to each situation. So for scenario 1, your class is having a party. Most kids bring in cookies, pop, or chips. You realize that you could be a good role model by bringing in something healthy and that tastes good. What could you bring? So you can pause the video right now if you want to talk about it. I'll give you some examples. So you could bring in smoothies or a fruit or a veggie tray. Let's see what the next example is. You are at a friend's house after school. You feel like doing something outside, like tossing a football or shooting some baskets. He wants to play video games. What could you say to encourage him to do something physically active with you? So again, you can pause right here if you want to talk about it. So a couple examples that I could give is you could trade time with being inside and outside. So maybe you could go outside for half an hour and then go inside for a half an hour. Or you could act out the video game you were playing outside. Let's go to our next scenario. You make a healthy sandwich for your brother or sister. They don't want to taste it because they don't like the way it looks. What could you say or do to encourage them to try it? Well, you could role model it for him or her. You could take a bite and then have them take a bite. You could have them help you make it. Sometimes when you are involved in making the food, you are more apt to try it. All right, next scenario. Your family is going on a car trip. You usually take snacks that are sometimes foods, like candy. Your mom wants to take something healthy. What could you suggest? Well, there are lots of healthy options out there, huh? So you could do something like apples and peanut butter, grapes, cucumbers, crackers and cheese. Did you come up with something else? All right, next scenario. You are late for school, but you know you should eat something. What could you grab to eat on the way that would make it easy to eat and is also healthy? What do you think? Some examples that I can think of are a blueberry muffin, yogurt, some cereal, a piece of fruit. Lots of options. All right, your family is having a birthday party for your grandma. Your mom is making cupcakes, but she also wants to serve a few healthy choices. What are some things that you could offer? You could say a fruit salad, veggies with dip, a healthy fruit muffin. Did you think of something else? All right, 2 more scenarios to go. You notice that your friend who gets the school lunch every day hardly ever eats the fruit or vegetable that is offered. You know that eating your fruit would be a healthy choice. What could you do or say? Well, you could be a good role model and make sure you are eating yours. You could remind them that fruits and vegetables have vitamins and minerals to have them have the energy to get through the day. You could encourage them to pick fruits and vegetables that they like so that they are more likely to eat them. Did you think of something different? All right, now it's time for our last scenario. Your teacher wants to reward kids with something other than candy. What ideas do you have for him or her? You could suggest extra free time, a new pencil, eraser, maybe some extra time outside, a new book, or some healthier snacks like fruits and vegetables instead of candy? All right, it's time for a quiz. Let's see if you can pass our healthy bodies, healthy minds. All right, now it's time to see what you learned this year with Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds. Let's put you to the test. What do you remember? What is shaped like a plate and teaches you about healthy foods? My plate. How much of your plate should be filled with fruits and vegetables? Oh, do you remember? Half of your plate should be filled with fruits and vegetables. How often should we eat things like candy, cakes, and donuts? Are those a sometimes or an anytime? Sometimes. Which food group gives us calcium for strong bones? What do you think? That would be our dairy group. How many of the grains you eat should be whole grains? Do you remember that one? Half of your daily grains should be whole grains. How long should you wash your hands for? You should wash your hands for 20 seconds. And let's see this last question. How many minutes should you be physically active every day? 60 minutes. Great job! You have passed Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds this year. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun this year learning all about these healthy behaviors and that you continue to use them when our lessons are done. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon.
Hi friends! For our physical activity today, we're going to be doing a pop-up quiz. So we're actually going to be popping up. Alright, so everybody is going to start crouched on the ground. I'm going to read a question. If you know the answer, you'll pop up. If you don't know the answer, you'll stay crouched down until I tell you the answer, because then you'll know it, and you'll pop up then. We'll also be doing some other motions while I talk a little bit more about each answer. So, to get started, we need to find some space and spread out. I'll be right back. Alright friends, hopefully you found a little space to move. Let's get ready for our pop-up quiz. So everybody start crouched on the ground. You can put your hands down for a little balance if you want. Our first question, what is the plate called that has all those food groups on it? Pop up if you know. It's called the My Plate. Let's march in place while we talk about our My Plate. So our My Plate has 5 food groups, right? Do you remember what those are? We have fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, and protein. All 5 food groups. Nice job. All right, let's crouch back down. Our second question, what food group is chicken in? Pop up if you know. Chicken is in the protein group. Everybody should pop up now. Let's do some arm circles while we talk about the protein group. Do you remember what color the protein group is on the My Plate? It is purple. All right, let's crouch down again. What food group would you find a whole grain bagel in? Pop up if you know. A whole grain bagel would go into the grains group. Let's do some side steps while we talk about the grains group. So, do you remember what color it is on the My Plate? The grain group is orange. All right, let's crouch back down. Half of your plate should be made up of what 2 food groups? Pop up if you know. The half of your plate should be made up of fruits and vegetables. Let's reach up to the sky while we talk about those fruits and vegetables. So do you remember what colors they are on the My Plate? Fruits are red and vegetables are green. All right, let's crouch back down. What food group has a lot of calcium for your bones in it? Pop up if you know the answer. That food group is dairy. Let's do some squats while we talk about dairy. Do you remember what color on the My Plate our dairy group is? It is blue. You got it. All right, let's crouch back down. Would an apple be a sometime snack or an anytime snack? Pop up if you know. An apple would be an anytime snack. So everybody should be standing up now. Let's reach across our bodies while we talk about that. So an apple is from one of our 5 food groups, so we say that's an anytime snack. A sometime snack is one that doesn't fit into our 5 food groups and is not so healthy for our bodies, so we only eat them sometimes. All right, let's crouch back down for our last question. How many minutes should you be physically active for? Pop up if you know. Every day you should be active for 60 minutes. Let's march in place. So, 60 minutes a day. You already got a few minutes by just doing this activity with me. Make sure you get in some more throughout the rest of your day. All right, thanks so much for joining me in this physical activity today. I hope you have a great day.
Today we'll be reading a story called I Will Never, Not Ever Eat a Tomato by Lauren Child. I have this sister Lola. She is small and very funny. Sometimes I have to keep an eye on her. Sometimes Mom and Dad ask me to give Lola her dinner. This is difficult because she is a very fussy eater. Lola won't eat carrots, of course. She says carrots are for rabbits. I say, what about peas? Lola says peas are too small and too green. One day I played a good trick on her. Lola was sitting at the table waiting for her dinner, and she said, I do not eat peas or carrots or potatoes or mushrooms or spaghetti or eggs or sausages. I do not eat cauliflower or cabbage or baked beans or bananas or oranges. And I am not fond of apples or rice or cheese or fish sticks. And I absolutely will never, not ever, eat a tomato. My sister hates tomatoes. And I said, well, that is lucky because we are not having any of those things. We are not going to eat any peas or carrots or potatoes or mushrooms or spaghetti or eggs or sausages. There will be no cauliflower or cabbage or baked beans or bananas or oranges. We don't have any apples or rice or cheese or fish sticks. And certainly no tomatoes. Lola looked at the table. Then why are those carrots there, Charlie? I don't ever eat carrots. And I said, oh, you think these are carrots? These are not carrots. These are orange twiglets from Jupiter. They look just like carrots to me, said Lola. But how can they be carrots? I said. Carrots don't grow on Jupiter. That's true, said Lola. Well, I might just try one, if they're all the way from Jupiter. Not bad, she said, and took another bite. Then Lola saw some peas. I don't eat peas, said Lola. I said, these are not peas. Of course they are not. These are green drops from Greenland. They are made out of green and fall from the sky. But I don't eat green things, Lola said. Oh, goody, I said. I'll have your share. Green drops are so incredibly rare. Well, maybe I'll nibble. Just one or two. Oh, said Lola. Quite tasty. Next, Lola saw the potato. I will not eat potato, so don't even try. Not even mashed. Oh, this isn't mashed potato. People often think that, but no, this is cloud fluff from the pointiest peak of Mount Fuji. Oh, said Lola, in that case, a large helping for me. I love to eat cloud. Charlie, she said, those look like fish sticks to me, and I would never eat a fish stick. I know that. These are not fish sticks. These are ocean nibbles from the supermarket under the sea. Mermaids eat them all the time. Oh, I went to that supermarket one time with Mom. Yes, I know the ones. I think I've had them before, Lola said, gobbling. Are there any more? And then she said, Charlie, will you pass me one of those? And I said, what, one of those? And Lola said, yes, Charlie, one of those. And I couldn't believe my eyes because guess what she was pointing at?
the tomatoes. And I said, "Are you sure? Really? One of these?" And she said, "Yes, of course. Moon squirters are my favorite." You didn't think they were tomatoes, did you, Charlie? All right, that's the end of our story. Thanks for listening. Hi friends, it's Mrs. Nye from Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds. I'm here to share a healthy recipe with you today. So our recipe is called a veggie tortilla roll-up. The ingredients we have some tortillas, and then we are going to spread some cream cheese on top of the tortillas, and then we're going to add our vegetables. So for our vegetables, I have spinach. So you could either use spinach or lettuce. And then I have a bell pepper, and today I have an orange bell pepper. Then we have cucumbers, we have some sliced black olives, and finally we have a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to cut up some of our veggies, and I'll be right back. Now that I have chopped our bell pepper and our cucumber, it's time to put together our veggie tortilla roll-up. So the first thing I'm going to do is spread this cream cheese over top of the tortilla. We want to make sure that we're getting all of the tortilla covered with the cream cheese. The next thing we're going to do is sprinkle on some of our spinach. I'm going to put it kind of in the middle. Next, I'm going to add our tomatoes with green chilies. Then after that, I'm going to add in our cucumbers. And then our orange bell peppers. Lots of colorful veggies in this roll-up. And finally, I'll add a few of our sliced black olives. This looks good. All right, now all we have to do is roll it up. So I'm going to tuck some of the veggies down and just give it a roll, and we are good to go. There you have it, our veggie roll-up. Hope you enjoyed today.